Praying to Guru and Gauranga, so we will pray to spiritual masters. Om Ajnanatinadasya Yanajnishvaratya Chakshuruditadhyata Tasvai Shri Guru Karuna Shri Chaitanya Mahapushtam Stavatamita Bhutare Swamarupa Kadamata Kudanti Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tavatamam Shri Guru Vishnuvam Shri Rupam Sakatatam Sarvanagunatamtam Sajivam Sadhaitam Zavavatam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhuranavuta Shri Vishaknaputamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopish Gopika Kanta Radha Tapta Kanchana Karuna Kira Mekundam Ishwar Krishna Sudati Vacha Kalpatru Yustika Pasantu Devcha Patidanam Bhavane Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shvatati Gauranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Just before I became a devotee and tried to become a devotee, I underwent an amazing experience. So one of my close roommates and friends, he told me, "Have you ever smoked ganja?" I said, "Life में बुरे आदत तो नहीं." He said, "Vivekananda used to smoke ganja." I said, "Wow, Vivekananda was my hero at that time. Not now, but at that time." So he said, "Okay." So in Manipal we went to the top of a hill and we sat down and we get Kotchadri hill, pure first class. A1, ganja. So smoked nicely. The first thing that came to my mind, I was really shocked. The mind became completely clear. I mean, it's a different level. Not the pure one, but an artificial. So then, actually speaking, I had the Gayatri mantra that just flowed through my mind. I was standing on the bank of the ocean with one leg on my shoulder, like a yogi. And I did quite a bit of past life regressions. And I saw my past life I was a fallen yogi. So, that mantra was going so nice and it went on for quite some time. Then we started all Western music after some time, but that experience really shook me. And then, 3 weeks after that, I came to this 6-session course by Bhagavad Gita. So between every session we used to go out, smoke and come back. So that we are listening to it properly. Right? So, last day, my Shiksha Guru, he noted that we were going out to smoke and come back and everything. He said, "Chant Hare Krishna and stay high forever." I said, "Wow, right? This is real." But then, of course, now it's been 16 years and we are still trying to get high. And that high is, one can really experience. I read Shiva Yoga Dipika, in which Lord Shiva says, the kind of purity of mantra flow that one can experience by pure chanting, when the mind is completely pure, the pure chanting, that is artificially experienced when one smokes ganja. He says that. You can get the same experience but temporarily, because after some time, you see, many of these yogis standing on one leg, one hand, one finger, whatever, they all smoke this joint, if you have seen. They're smoking. Why this? Because the thing is, unless one is able to completely conquer the value in the body, right? See, the yogi, now our body mechanism works like this, according to yoga. Now, I spoke this yesterday, where is the mind located, right? It's the first question I asked. Right? Everybody knows. Where is it now?
Heart.
It's in the region of the heart. And how big is your mind? You don't know. So, Gopiparanam Prabhu told me, it's a very beautiful answer. And I was
you said the mind is in the heart.
Located
in the heart. But it is all pervading. The mind is all pervading the body. Because whatever the mind has taken shape, that is what is the shape of our body. Like we look like, our mind is looking like this, That's why our body looks like this. Or when the mind changes, the shape of the mind changes.
That's
So,
hormone.
but
Consciousness.
then how it is only situated in the heart?
See, Purification Prabhu explained to me like this. He said, how big is the size of the mind? That was my question. Is it like as big as the body? How big is it? Where is it? And how big is it? The answer was very beautiful. He said, the soul is said to be 1/10,000 the tip of hair. He said the mind is a thin layer covering that. So he said it is like really minuscule, impossible to detect, so small. But the mind is, he gave an example like this. Like you see, inside there is the light bulb and outside there is the glass. So the bulb inside is the soul, for example, and that is what is giving consciousness, which is reflected through the mind. So mind itself, it's dead, but it is reflecting this consciousness, so it is having life. So, and this is reflected throughout the body. And how is this mind connected to the body? How is it all pervading? That was the most beautiful answer he gave. It is connected via the medium of the airs or light. That is why in 6th chapter, Krishna says that one can float the airs and float the soul and take it to Brahmananda. How is that possible? How can you float the soul in something material? The point is, then I understood, the connection is the mind. It is connected via nadis to the vayu, and vayu flows through these nadis, and that is what is connecting. So this mind is like, when it leaves the body, the airs and the other things it leaves behind, and only the mind, intelligence ego along with the soul goes next, and then it sticks like you fit a part, into a motherboard. So he explained that it is reflecting that consciousness. The mind is like, if you change this color to green, it will reflect green color, isn't it? So as per the situation of the mind, your consciousness is reflected. But it is so small, it is so tiny. And where is it located? In the region of the heart. Right? Now, why is this important? Now what the yogi does, what the yoga practice is all about, is to balance the airs. He does asana, steadies the body. Right? Asana. Then he does pranayama. He steadies the mind. He steadies the airs. By steadying the air, by channelizing the air properly, the body becomes light. And Prabhupada explains something very special in 3rd canto, 28th chapter. He says, one can purify the mind either by pranayama or by chanting. See, mind, what happens is, we gather so many experiences in so many lives. Somebody insults you, somebody, like for example, because previous life you may have died by jumping off a building. So this life you will have fear of heights. Some people have certain things from previous life, right? Some people have certain talent. Or the Damodar Swarup has so much talent. He can practically play anything, isn't it? So certain karma, certain habits we carry from previous life. Prabhupada said, Pandit Ravi Shankar, he practiced for 7 lives and this life he attained maturity. His sitar, and then became so famous. So certain habits, certain traits, because we were having a big debate with Varshana Maharaj in New Vrindavan. Those who kill cows, should we kill them? What is the punishment? Prabhupada said, even if you kill them, they will die with that mentality. But you have to kill that mentality, not the person. It's a very beautiful answer. So basically our movement is to purify the mind. And today morning I was having a discussion with one devotee. And in that discussion, we were discussing this episode in the Bhagavatam where Brahma runs behind Saraswati. How many of you know this episode? Right? Brahma is attracted to Saraswati, his own daughter. And after he is attracted to Saraswati, so he is attracted to Saraswati, then he becomes very depressed. He got attracted to his own daughter. Now what do? Your mind is polluted, isn't it? It's very perverted to get attracted to your own daughter. But then he, after consultation, then the Lord tells him, you should give up your body. It's like, okay, Brahma dies immediately. No, Brahma, it says, gives up that body, means he gives up that mentality. Now we have developed so many habits, good or bad, over a period of many lifetimes. And we really feel sometimes impossible that these habits will go away. How many of you feel that way? Very difficult, right? Some people say, born character can never change. But the practice of yoga is meant to change that character, meant to change that mentality. Sometimes, once a lecture I was hearing from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, he says, when you have a fever, when you try to cure your fever, first your fever increases. And when you are admitted to the hospital, it reaches a peak and then it comes down. So similarly, all our sins or whatever they are there, they reach. And then even while chanting, sometimes we feel, oh, it's like horrible, right? All these things are coming out. We didn't even know. Right? Didn't even know I was this bad. But then, if you apply properly, I have seen many devotees. Why I found this very critical was, many devotees I found, they reach a certain stage of chanting. But after that, you get stuck. It's like, I can never come out and become that smooth chanting. And ever since I had that experience, with that little bit of smoking weed, whatever you call, but that mantra just flowing through the mind, without any other disturbance, without any other thought, you are just experiencing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go to any Venkateshwara temple, in the background there will be that smooth music, right? Om Venkateshaya Namaha. The mind feels so soothing, right? Right? Next thing you get curd rice and lemon rice in that music, very beautiful. What I am saying is, we want to experience that soothness in the mind when you chant. What do you call mantra? Right? Manana trayate iti mantra. But is it possible? There was one simple technique, after applying which, of course, it took a little bit of time. But if you practice it, I found that you can actually experience this within a short period of time. This is connected.
No, actually, it's having.
What's that?
It's connected to the internet, but
It's not showing.
different input.
I tried it. No, it's.
See, we should rely on our mind, not technology, to envision things. So, anyway, whether it comes or not, it's okay. So, the first thing that I found, how we can apply this technique is, first of all, we need, when we begin to chant, we need a certain preparation before we chant. The technique works like this. Philosophically, we understand that this chanting is the topmost spiritual activity. This, when done perfectly, everything else is done. Isn't it? You don't need to do anything else. If this is done perfectly. Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, if you are chanting purely, if you are chanting purely, then everybody is looking there.
Let me take that off for a second. Take that off.
Everything is there. So if you are chanting purely, you are able to see Shyama Sundar. Right? But to reach that stage, in between what is there? there is a thickness of our anarthas, which we have accumulated for many, many years. And we have formed a kind of mentality. So, first one has to overcome anartha nivritti, isn't it? So there is anartha nivritti and artha pravriti. One has to develop. It's connected? Oh wow. Okay. Let's peacefully do it. No anxiety. So, chanting is the topmost spiritual activity. Now, let's see. When we begin to chant, what are the difficulties we encounter?
Mind wavers.
Mind wavers, unable to concentrate. Now, you have to note three things. For success in spiritual life, any activity requires three things: concentration of mind, persistent effort, and grace of God. What are the three things? So this is also divided into Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So first of all, we have to understand our relationship with Krishna is the most important. It's not that I'm chanting for peace of mind or this or that. Chanting is because this is connecting myself with Krishna. This is the most important activity of my life. This is the way I am connecting to Krishna. This is my puja. This is my worship, which is very individual and which is very intimate, which is very deep. That is how we should treat chanting. That this is another thing is that chanting is an exclusive activity. While chanting, we should not do anything else, mentally also. Because activity is physically is one thing, but activity is taking place mentally all the time, isn't it? So, this chanting is very, very critical that it is to be done with, first of all, we should have concentration of mind. Now, what are the two activities of the mind?
Thinking, feeling, willing.
Thinking, willing and feeling. Right, that is one. But every stage of thinking, willing, feeling, what does it do?
Sankalpa vikalpa.
Sankalpa vikalpa. It accepts, it rejects. It accepts, it rejects. I should have married her. Everybody is able to relate to it. So that is in the mind all the time. So we should forget that. So basically, if you realize, when I was working in Microsoft, I had a manager from Vrindavan. He is very nice comedian, always jokes, we keep everybody happy. He used to always tell me one thing in a joking manner. Drashtavano. So I always think, what is he saying? Drashtavano. And that is how it is. Who are you? You are Atma. You always identify with the body and you get involved with every activity. Today I was looking at Facebook. And I have only devotees in my Facebook. And everybody is happy India won the cricket match. I mean, is this what you will be happy about? Somebody made money, he will get more ads. And we are thinking, I am this country, I am happy. Isn't that a big question mark? Who are you? Right? I am Indian. Okay. Story is over. Then when you chant, you are thinking, this ball is white, this ball is red. Isn't it? Kohli ko aisa marna chahiye tha. All because of identification. Isn't it? So sankalpa vikalpa, aisa marna, main hota to aisa marna. Right? Everybody is imagining himself in that position. It's very difficult to come out of it. That is what you call as mentality. That is where we have to apply chanting very, very strongly. And chanting, pure chanting begins at a liberated stage. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. All upadhis are gone. I am chanting. I have to give up every bodily concept possible. Chanting is not for any material benefit. Although in the beginning we say, sab theek ho jayega, right? That is not for which we chant. When people used to come to Gaur Kishore Das Babuji Maharaj and ask for blessings, he said, Sarvanaj Vaidya. Everybody used to get shocked. Nobody wanted to go there. So, he wanted the destruction of the material enjoying mentality. There's one sutra in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, I forget the sutra, but he says, behind every material enjoyment, there is hidden pain. Any material enjoyment, there is hidden pain. Anybody who thinks there is anything called material enjoyment, right? Or our Vaishnavacharyas call such people as asses, fools, right? Huh? So, when we chant, we have to understand we have nothing to achieve in this material world. Is there anything to achieve? You are not sure, see? I have applied for promotion just yesterday. Just buying a house. Right? There is nothing to achieve. Everything is already done. We have done it in millions of lives. Our Acharyas say, whenever any material enjoyment presents itself, because we have not yet a taste for chanting, not yet a taste for loving Krishna, immediately the mind is in Sankalpa Vikalpa starts. Right? And we think ourselves very proud. Dekho chhod diya. Right? Just like, what was that? I went to buy something today. And he said something additional for that was $90. So I said, no. So I thought I saved $90. That's not needed. So basically, because the mind, material mind is always about calculation. What does Arjuna, what is Duryodhana doing? In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, he is calculating, isn't it? There is Bhishma, Bhavan, Bhishmasya Karnasya, right? He is calculating his army strength. So material mind is all about comparison, envy and calculation. Spiritual mind or spiritual thought process is to give up this very process of trying to think for our profit. So some of the things which I found very beneficial while sitting to chant is that first of all we have to prepare to chant. Not that suddenly we are eating, we are watching cricket, pick up kids. Doesn't just you have to have a takeoff, right? So in preparing to chant, something that I found very useful is identity. Who am I? I am Atma. Just imagine. All the lights are turned off. All the outside lights are turned off. This is what I sometimes imagine when I begin to chant, when I sit down to chant. Outside lights are turned off. And when I look within, I look at that bubble where I am trapped. Imagine yourself in a bubble, a dot in a bubble, Atma, trapped in the mind. Millions of years, he is engaged. His only hope is this chanting. His only hope. He is stuck here. We might be devotees externally, we might have feedback, we might have this, but until and unless we have chanted purely, we come Sunday feast, everything very nice. But if you do not reach pure chanting, you are trapped here. You can go to heavenly planets at the end of this life. Krishna, you might get birth, you don't know, in some other planet as a devotee, something. But if you don't finish it in this life, there is always that risk. Isn't it? Bharat Maharaj became a deer. Last moment, right? Slip out. We don't want to do that. So, and then when you light up yourself here, you see yourself here, you see everybody else also. So all these material problems, they are all there. They will all exist eternally as long as this Atma is trapped. This is, I found, very strong philosophy. Really. Any material problem, they will be there. They will all show up when you start to chant. Hey, what about me? This bill is not paid. You didn't speak to him. Bhul gaye kya? So everything comes up in your mind. So the mind wants you to do everything except chant. We have so many priorities. But what is the use of all those priorities when you are still in jail? Isn't it? So what is our real priority? To penetrate this mind. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita. One who wins, one who purifies the mind, one who wins the mind. What happens to him? Paramatma samahita. Immediately, the Lord, Paramatma, he is able to connect to him. And what does Krishna say? One who is able to see that this Paramatma is not different from me. Just like Hanuman, he tore his heart. What was there? Sita and Ram, his loving lordships. What happened to Bhishma? He is looking Krishna outside, he is looking at Krishna inside. So what say, when Gaur Maharaj says, if you float on the surface of the ocean, you will get fish. If you go deeper, you will get gems and pearls. You have to go deeper. The chanting, your chanting is measured in your depth of your chanting. How seriously you lend your ear. So the first preparation what I found, turn off all other lights. I am entrapped right now. And every day and night goes by, I am getting closer to death. And when is that death? I don't know. I am hoping I have many years with me, but I don't know. How can I untrap this? This 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, whatever I am going to spend in my chanting, this is decisive. Every day could be decisive. In the end, of course, we can only push ourselves to a certain extent. Why? There is concentration of mind. Second is persistent effort. Third is grace of God. Ultimately, if Krishna is pleased, it could happen even today. If Krishna is not pleased, we can take lifetimes. Bahu jalme adi kari Shravana Kirtana Tabhutana Paye Krishna Pade Premadhana. Right? So, we have to take compassion on this trapped soul. No amount of money, no amount of. That's why Arjuna says, even if I become the king of the 3 worlds, I will not attain happiness. It is not out of this thing that he says. He calculates clearly. Without the liberation, as long as the soul is trapped here, because of ignorance, being unliberated, no matter what happiness you get in material life, you will not be happy. Period. Even if you know the process, but you have not practiced it, until you have tasted the nectar, you are still there. Right? So the beginning of practice is to turn off all of the lights and see ourselves with a clear consciousness. I am spirit soul. Everybody else with me, everything is existing. I didn't put my daughter's nerves here, nor did I put my brain here. All this is existing because of Krishna. And if Krishna wants, as long as Krishna wants, all this will exist also. It is not that my efforts are going to make any change in my family's life. Right? Everybody in it is in Satyuga, when somebody commits a sin, understand this, the whole planet suffers. In Treta Yuga, the country suffers. In Dwapar Yuga, the family suffers. And in Kali Yuga, only the self suffers. So you are responsible for your own self. Don't expect anything from anybody else. And if you do something good, if you raise your consciousness, it will reflect in your family also. So it behooves us that we take this process very deeply, very seriously. So first of all, you turn off the lights, and if you see yourself, if you see that picture, what is that? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, that picture. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani Kavihastini, Shuni Chaiva Shobha Kecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. There is a picture in Bhagavad Gita where one devotee is seeing Atma within himself and he is seeing Atma in everybody else, including animals, trees. He sees everybody, that mind entrapped. and Paramatma next to everybody. So first of all, you develop that vision. This chanting is the topmost activity. It should not be taken lightly. I was speaking to one devotee today morning. He said, most devotees take it very lightly. Hare Krishna, क्या हो रहा है? इडली बन गया? अच्छा मैं ये राउंड गरम करके फिर खा दूँ. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So chanting to eat that idli. You should not. So what I mean to say, chanting should be exclusive. One devotee told me, one senior devotee said, we are always trying to finish our rounds. We will never try to relish our rounds. Always finish. Right? That should not be the consciousness. Go again. So, this chanting should be like where you are actually liberating the soul. You are really working with that consciousness. So how do you do that? So first of all, lights off. Figure out, oh, it's true. So then, step 2. I remember this verse. Tranadapi sunichena tarorika sahishnuna amanina manatena kirtanina satsara. Means what? We have no qualification to chant this mantra. We have any qualification? There is no qualification. Anybody who thinks I was born in Brahmana family, that is why I can chant Hare Krishna. Right? Moment to think like that, okay, Krishna is okay, chant. No use. Moment we should Trinadapi Sunichena, we should consider ourselves most unqualified. How did we get the holy name? Because Prabhupada showed mercy. I was listening day for yesterday, Radharan Swami was speaking in Hawaii. He was in Hawaii, so he was saying, just like Shivananda said, there was a street dog, which was liberated by eating some prasad. So Prabhupada saved us. We were like street dogs. We had no hope. There's no hope without this holy name. But then, how much do we value this holy name? How seriously do we take it? So first of all, we understand we are unqualified. It is an amazing gift. Right? We should have got $10. We got unlimited money. Unlimited money. That is our situation. So this holy name is the most amazing gift Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. And the next thing, Taroriva Sahishnuna means we do whatever it takes to chant. So we should understand that we are today able to chant because all our previous acharyas, so I imagine all our acharyas at that point in the spiritual realm, again true. So they are, because of their chanting, because of their efforts today, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, at one point when Bhaktivinoda Thakur started preaching, this movement, this Hare Krishna movement was almost extinct. It was finished. People looked at Vaishnavas like some kind of thieves. Why? They were chanting, they were doing dancing, and they were doing sense enjoyment at the same time. At the same time. And they became the most followed people. Sahajiya. Sahajiya means you take the holy name very cheaply. You chant Hare Krishna, you watch cricket match, you watch TV, everything, and then chant Hare Krishna, looking at TV also. Sorry. Everything, the heart is there. The mouth is here. So, Gauragovind Maharaj says, if it is not to please Krishna with love, what is coming out from your mouth is only words, not the Lord. So, this Sahajiya were practically dominating the whole of Bengal. That's why I could not reconcile. How come millions of Bengalis were killed? How can this happen? Being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, very difficult. It is only when we commit offences, everything goes haywire. So these offences, when not controlled over a period of time, that becomes a mentality. And that's why we are here in this material world, because we committed offense. We want to enjoy Krishna, isn't it? Once my Guru Maharaj, they made a nice plate. He likes dry fruits. That day I was very hungry. So they were giving this plate to Maharaj, and I was saying, Maharaj said, come sit next to me and have prasad. So I started taking most of the things. All of the disciples got very angry. Your Guru Shishya or your Guru Bhogi? Huh? Guru Bhogi, try to enjoy him. So we are trying to enjoy Krishna. So that should not be. Huh? We are, this material world, we are ready to do anything except to really surrender to Krishna. Therefore, this is the Bhaktivinoda Thakur at that point when he preached. After a certain point, he was very disappointed because he was very merciful. But his son was not, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He imposed very strict standards. And at the end of his life, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very sad that the very people he fought against, they were all slowly beginning to come back, all these Sahajiyas, Aula, Bola, all these people. So he prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a dream. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, go to Puri and chant. You will purify the whole world, universe in fact. So he locked himself without food and water and he chanted till he quit his body. And such people have laid the foundation, have purified this planet, have walked on this planet. And today, this holy name is available because their dearest loving servant, Prabhupada, came to the West and he gave us this holy name. So we understand with what sacrifice we are getting this. So we should remember this sacrifice. It's not a small thing when we begin to chant at the beginning of the day. This is very serious. Then we remember all the acharyas, at least from Lord Chaitanya, the Goswamis, then all these Madhavendra Puri, Ishwarapuri, all these devotees. Then we have, of course, Gaurnatraj, Jagannath Das Bhajan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So they are all, and of course our own spiritual masters. So they are all chanting, they are all waiting for us to be purified, to take us back to the spiritual world. But we have to come to that platform. So when we remember this, I am in this line, isn't it? It makes us really, I am in this line, I have to chant. They are all these acharyas have given their energy, put in their tapasya, have blessed us, and have carefully given this pure holy name to us. So this is the preparation. Second thing what I found very important when you start to chant, you remember the person who disturbed you the most in life. Sometimes that happens. Yes or no? Yes. Everybody seems to, how did he know what I think? And this happens to everybody. So, very important quality to develop is forgiveness. In the 11th canto, it states, the greatest charity is to forgive. In your heart, you should forgive and you should pray that everybody gets Krishna Kripa. And imagine if you pray for even your enemy, even the person who is right now your enemy, how much Krishna will be pleased with you. One should give up everything because you cannot hold on grudge and envy for somebody and continue to chant. You cannot. You cannot chant pure name. You can chant, but it will not be pure name. One should give up everything, just surrender to Krishna. All your pain, sorrows, right? Leave it to Krishna. You decide. I just surrender to you. I am just your order carrier. So, and pray for everyone, that everyone gets the mercy of Krishna. Don't worry. Even if your enemy gets mercy of Krishna, it is good for him. Isn't it? Because then he will know how difficult is chanting. Right? So, there's one devotee who was translating Prabhupada's books in Hindi. So Prabhupada went there and he was speaking to this devotee. And his father used to always smoke. Prabhupada said, as usual, people's answer, at any time I call people for donations from New Vrindavan and tell them, Roji, New Vrindavan nahi hai. Jab Bhagwan bulayenge tab aayenge. Bhagwan to hamesha bulayate. So this man was smoking. He said, So Prabhupada urged him, why don't you quit smoking everything and start chanting? He said, when Krishna shows mercy, I will do. Prabhupada told him, do you know what is meant by Krishna's mercy? This man was like a little serious. What do you mean by Krishna? Krishna's mercy means all your friends will reject you. Your family will reject you. You will lose all your money. And at that point of time, you will helplessly give up everything. Do you want Krishna's mercy? So that man said, tomorrow onwards I will try to quit smoking. I will not wait till that point. So he made a law to do it. So even if you look at your enemies, you should think, let them get Krishna's mercy. And what I am saying is that don't worry about your enemies. Let them get Krishna's mercy. So sometimes these little things can help us. Everybody should get Krishna's mercy, actually. Of course, we can do it out of compassion or out of intelligence. Right? Out of intelligence. Forgive and forget. Really. You cannot keep enmity and chant. Forgive everybody. Pray for the whole universe. Pray for everybody. And that sets your mood. When Krishna sees that you are in a mood to benefit not only yourself, but for everybody. Just like the mood of our acharyas. They did not do anything just for their own sadhana, but they did everything as benefiting the self, also benefiting everyone. Not that I will make discrimination in looking at anybody. Everybody is eligible for Lord's mercy. So that mentality should be developed. So this is the first stage. Of course, the explanation takes a bit of time, but as you practice it, it's easy. You are mentally in that position. And then the second step that I found was when you start to chant now, right? When you start to chant, I saw a very beautiful technique by Gurujan Prabhu. Gurujan Prabhu has a book on chanting. I did not read the whole book, but the first part that he explained, that satisfied me enough. And that was, he says, one word at a time, one mantra at a time. So when we start to chant, moment we start to chant, when we hear, suddenly some thought comes and suddenly it takes your mind away, isn't it? Then it goes somewhere. Then it takes it's like you miss one exit, it takes 10 minutes. Right? You miss one mantra, it takes another 10 minutes to come back. Isn't it? So you, with great attention, you focus on each and every word and each and every mantra. What I saw, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the moment I chanted, I stopped for practice. Right? Not like every day. Today I don't do, but when I started this practice, when I really wanted to apply this, did I hear the mantra? Did I hear? Am I conscious? Right? We are Krishna conscious, right? If I am not even conscious of Krishna's name, because this name is not different from Krishna, if I am not even consciously hearing the holy name, where am I going to be Krishna conscious? Right? We have to be conscious of our activity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I began to question myself, did I hear the 16 words? Then stop. Next. Because the little gap between the two mantras, also the mind will some thought will come and will disturb. So then I said, next, now carefully chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you prepare the mind. It's not over. Next, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gradually, each mantra you chant, and the yajna is complete. Japa yajna, you put it into the yajna kunda, right? Where is the yajna kunda? Here. It should go safely into the yajna kunda. Then where does it go? Then the ghee falls into the heart. The mind should be soaked with the holy name. So there is a synergy. When you hear attentively, your mind is slowly getting soaked, what do you call soaked, not just choked also of material thoughts. He says, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's favorite Vedanta Sutra is Anavrattihi Shabda. But that is only when your mind is attentively, just like a target practice, attentively the holy name soaks the mind. Here, when you hear, if you don't even hear clearly, some other thoughts are, the mind is completely disturbed by other thoughts. How will the holy name really soak the mind? Isn't it? It's not possible. Then all that remains in the end is the other thoughts. Holy name is already offended. Because when you chant, Krishna is there. When you chant, Krishna is there. And if you don't hear, if you don't welcome Him with love into your ear, into your heart, if you don't welcome Him, then He has to go somewhere. Isn't it? You already offended your guest. You already offended Krishna. That's why we say inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. Isn't it? In the end we say inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. That's where it starts. Now, the best way one can chant attentively is one develops taste. So that is why very important to associate with devotees. That's why whenever some big sannyasi comes, everybody is very eager to take the Maha, to take association. Why? Just by hearing. Like when I was in college, the first sannyasi, one of the sannyasis I met was Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And when he did kirtan, we loved hearing, because after that you feel like you have to chant. It automatically becomes that because all these things are good qualities, are all personalities, and they jump you when you serve them. So here, when you hear attentively, when it enters the heart, gradually there is a transformation. But if you are not listening attentively, there is no transformation. In fact, the heart becomes hard because you are taking this process very lightly. You are not taking the process very seriously. Krishna is there, you are doing inattentive devotion. So, here is the crux of the practice. So when you chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Did I hear? Next, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The mind is not ready, but pound the mind with the holy name. And you see how peaceful you will become after some time. You actually feel peaceful when you hear attentively. So I started this practice. You chant the mantra, and in between the two, I prepare for the next mantra, I say next. Right? So I am ready. I am paying full attention. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Next. I am ready. So each mantra, I am equally focused, equally attentive. And after a couple of weeks, I saw you don't need to say next. You don't need to do all this. It automatically becomes a practice. Just like it begins to flow swiftly. Right? One devotee was saying, we were practicing in DC temple, chanting, and in the Santa Fe's program, he said, what if I am chanting and I put my body saying next? He said, because that is connected to the mantra Krishna will still take care of this. So really, but that is just for practice. It's like props. But after some time, there was just a joke. But what I found was, then you do it, and the example that I gave, actually it was in my PowerPoint presentation, is that of a trapeze artist. You've seen a trapeze artist, right? Two of them are hanging and somebody is holding the hand, right? And he swings there, swings like this, and this person then leaves the hand and jumps to the other, right? If he is not focused, he'll slip the hand, he'll fall down, right? That is our situation. It's like your mind is so wavering, suddenly instead of the holy name, your mind catches to some other thought. That's it, the holy name is slipped away, right? It's fallen. Again you have to gather back. Krishna says, Puna. Again and again one has to bring the mind back, bring the mind back, bring the mind back. So, you prepare properly and you sit down to chant like a rishi, meditative sage, and you hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You are very clearly hearing. So then I imagined it, just like the trapeze artist. There is one example. Second is like a line manufacturing, right? You take one part, manufacture, goes, next part, manufacture, next part, right? So each mantra. Then, once you have practiced this, I was speaking to Radheshyam Pune, long back when I was trying out this practice. He said, as your mind becomes practiced and clearer, in the beginning your time for each round increases because you are very careful. I don't want to miss any mantra, any word, right? So it takes a bit of more time. But once you have practiced, you can finish one round in 5.5 minutes. 5.5 minutes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. But you are equally focused on each mantra, every word. It becomes like a practice. It becomes like a breath. Very easy. And after some time, when you start chanting, concentration is automatic. That's your way of chanting. Right? And once you are really dive into the holy name, then it becomes smooth, right? The experience I told you. It should. So we see, what is a movie? A 70 mm reel. It's a series of photographs. But when done in a fast motion, it looks like a movie. So similarly, when you chant, the mind is a stream of broken thoughts. Right? But dhyana means to integrate that, to make it into one thought. Right? That is the process of dhyana, to break this breaking of the mind, right? To unite this thought process. So when you hear and then you eliminate the gap, you make the chanting a continuous stream. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So you are like walking, just like in a circus they are walking on the tight rope. You are jumping from one rope to another, just like a trapeze artist jumping. And you are balancing on each mantra. Right? You are jumping, concentration from one mantra to another, one mantra to another, one mantra to another. And it becomes really exciting. The mind is so eager to concentrate. But after some time it becomes very natural, this practice. Then it becomes a steady stream. One devotee used to tell me in the beginning, chanting करते समय आंसू आना चाहिए, कंपन होना चाहिए, बाल खड़े होने चाहिए, पर सबसे पहले सुनना चाहिए. So first, if you hear attentively, then all the other emotions will come because the holy name definitely has that. You don't have to artificially, put some gel and make it stand, or put some gel and cry. No. You just chant attentively, the holy name is so powerful. But first of all, one should hear attentively, isn't it? Once I went to one workshop, chanting workshop by some senior devotee. He said, when you chant, meditate on this pastime and this and that. He said, chanting itself is difficult. How to meditate on pastimes? So I went to Jayadvaita Maharaj. I was serving Jayadvaita Maharaj for 3 months. I asked him, Prabhuji, Maharaj, what to do? He said, Prabhupada said, just hear. Just hear. That is your dharma. Give up all other dharma and just hear. Attentively. Don't hold ice cream in one hand. Right? Or some laddu in the other hand. No. Chanting is chanting. Give up everything else. And here, Prabhupada says one thing very important in Bhagavad Gita. He says activity takes place in the mind and not in the body. So all our thought process, all the actions are actually taking place in the... So if you are able to... And what the mind wants, if you see, why the Sankalpa Vikalpa, why did we discuss that? mechanically, mind is just throwing up thoughts and it's just doing sankalpa, vikalpa, thinking, feeling, it's just doing it. That's when you apply drashtamano and you see, you are not these thoughts. You are not these thoughts. Who are you? You are Atma. Just leave it alone. And as you attentively chant, as you keep on focusing attentively and you just keep practice and vairagya, right? Krishna, what does Krishna say? Abhyasa. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena hitacha. Practice and detachment. Detach from this world. Detachment means I give up that. I don't want to indulge in my thoughts till I am done with my chanting. So you keep that, and that is the two things. I keep focusing on Hare Krishna, all other thoughts, they will come, I will take care of them. And believe me, Krishna will take care of them. There was this king, I think Maharana Pratap or some king, I forget. There was an attack on his kingdom. Big war is going on, but he has to do his puja. And during his puja, when he was doing his puja, and he had to do his puja, until then he wouldn't do anything. And his ministers came waiting for him to finish, but he takes 2 hours, he will do his puja. This king of Rajasthan. And then he wouldn't budge from his puja, he will do to Krishna. And they found that after some time actually, that the war is over, and by the time his puja is over, war is over. Then they were all surprised, how did you fight amazing war and everything? He was like, surprised, what? I just came out of the room just now. So then it was Krishna who came just like him and fought the war in his behalf. All know the story of Narsingh Mehta, right? Narsingh Mehta was always, whenever there is an opportunity to hear, he will just sit and hear. So there was a nice rishta for his daughter. So his wife said, go to the neighboring village and you have all your relatives and friends, collect some money and come for daughter's marriage. Next week is the marriage. So he goes to that village and there is Bhagavad Saptah. So immediately he sits there, he forgets why he came. So he sits and listens to Bhagavad Saptah. After 7 days he realizes, after eating prasadam, 7 days, why did I come here? Daughter's marriage was yesterday. Runs back to the village, I don't know. And then everybody is saying, Arey, Narsingh Mehta, kya shadi kar raha hai beti ka? Surprised, Arey, main to batao beti. Then his wife says, Kyun ji? Kitna acha shadi kar raha hai? Aap to kitne achhe pati nikle. He is shocked. Then he sits in meditation, hey Bhagwan, ye kya ho gaya? So then Krishna comes and he says, Krishna comes as Narsingh Mehta. And actually he takes care of the daughter's wedding very nicely. Because his devotee was thinking of him, Krishna is thinking of his devotee. Isn't it? So that is why this chanting is not a small activity. This is directly connecting to Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is very pleasing to him. Bhakta Kumbhara, I saw one movie when he was small, Rajkumar. His son, when he was making that mud, he is singing, and his small son walks into that mud and he actually tramples on him. His son dies, but he doesn't get disturbed, he is completely immersed. After some time he comes back to life. So this is the thing. So that is our faith. We should be unshakable while chanting, undisturbed. Once I wrote a long email to my Guru Maharaj, that is after my second initiation. He said, this is Maharaj, this is a ridiculous email. Brahmana should never be disturbed. I said, I found it disturbed. So Brahmana should never be disturbed. He has so much faith in Krishna that if I do this activity perfectly, purely, Krishna has to take care of me. Krishna has no other goal. If I chant purely, Krishna is yours. Isn't it? And don't think that this is not possible for you. I am a married man, I have so many loans, I have just took a home loan, whatever. Don't worry about it. Whoever it is. But if he has a sincere heart, doesn't matter which ashrama you are, where you are, which place you are, but if your desire is sincere, definitely you can chant purely. The last tip I found very important while chanting is this. When you hold the beat, one devotee told me that Prabhupada, when he chanted, the first part, he would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and he would start moving it. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when you move the beat, you are transferring of your consciousness consciously. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So we are taking a conscious samadhi. There are two types of samadhi according to yoga, sampradnyata, sampradnyata. So really, samadhi in yoga terms means you go deep, you forget the body. But here, you go deep, you forget the body, but you are still conscious. That is something very unique. Many people say, why do we need the beat? We just chant and we don't know. Our Acharya showed the example. Krishna consciousness means is the Turiya state, transcendental state. Where one is completely in a very high state of consciousness. And one is able to chant purely. So this coordinating with the beats, hearing attentively, and being aware of Paramatma. Whom are you trying to please? The temple is your body and the Lord is right here. When you hear, He is listening to you. He is being enlivened. Jitatmana prashantasya Paramatma samahita. Paramatma is right here. He is listening. When will this soul attentively surrender? So, this one activity, when we actually take up very nicely, every day, consistently, we chant like this with great attention. Gradually, this attention, our attraction is there. We all love Krishna, right? But we have something to overcome. It's just a question of regulated practice. Then, Prabhupada says, if your regulated practice is proper, then one day you will get into spontaneous devotion. Automatically, you will be spontaneous. That is important. Alright? So let's practice a little bit. All of you have beats?
Yeah, there's actually some in the.
We won't chant very long, but at least like 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes. I want to put the technique once so that we are clear. So, so everybody has to do it. So the preparation. So what is the preparation? That very clearly, why are we chanting for? To please Krishna. It is within the heart. For Krishna Prema only. Right? There is no material purpose. Second, within your heart, just turn off all other lights. Just see this bubble. Just see the Atma. And Paramatma standing right next to him, the pure Lord. Remember your spiritual master. Remember, be grateful to them. So that is the main thing. We should be grateful. Our hearts should be grateful. Forgive everybody. We don't need. All these things are material. All these things are temporary. And actually all these conflicts and this and that, this does not exist in the spiritual world. How can you take this conflict there? It's not there. Just Forgive, forget, and pray for everybody's well-being. Let everybody come to. That is the transcendental state where there is no material consideration. So this chanting is only, there is no material consideration. And when we chant now, let's hear attentively. Let's try to. Of course, in a group chanting, it's a little easy. But when you are individual, it takes a little bit of time. But anyway, we are still there. What I wanted to do is really coordinate here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Next, I'll just add this little bit of next between each mantra. Just to, we pull our mind steady. Next one, like that. Okay? Just practice, and then, of course, after you go home, you can practice like that or you can. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Next, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, just one second. So, as you see, once you end one mantra and you go to the second mantra, you are be conscious in trying to put the mind forward to hear. That's the whole practice. That I am eager to hear. Next one, hear, so that I am conscious. Even if I missed out the end there, I am conscious. Each mantra you start, right? So that is the mood. So then you don't miss out, and then it's very smooth. You will see, you will find it. It will become very smooth. You are just hearing. Of course, when you are chanting a bit slow, it's also a little difficult. When you chant at your own speed, it becomes even easier, right? So we will continue. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama right? So it is something that is, but basically the point is one has to focus on the hearing part. So even when turning, sometimes when I am chanting very slowly, I try to, sometimes I miss the Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. In the beginning of chanting, sometimes I miss that. But sometimes you just turn around and you are just in that momentum. Right? But we have to pray for their mercy. They are always in our mind. Only by their mercy we can get it. But sometimes to keep up the momentum, we can just chant Hare, keep on chanting Hare Krishna. But in the beginning and in the middle, we can always chant. We should hear our own voice very attentively. Right? Makes it clear?
No, I was not clear. So the question was about the Panchatattva mantra in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean his thing was that once you finish one round, right? So you have to engage in Panchatattva mantra, again refocus. So some devotees whom I spoke to, they also mentioned that some senior devotees, that Panchatattva mantra, I mean it's not that it's mandatory after every round.
Because Prabhupada just went on.
Yeah, he never chanted. So when you chant, that momentum is there. When you are really focusing, even a little bit of thing can just take out the momentum.
But true that even without the Panchatattva, like the counter that you have to, you take your mind away and then you increase the counter.
Yeah, it's practice. You have to just learn to see these things you have to do. So you have to just do it within. It's just a question of practice. So once you chant, you really get them out and then you get back. So it takes maybe a little bit, but our acharyas are very particular that we keep the count. It's very important. So we have to do it. Alright.
One more technique that I thought I would share. I did this just a few weeks ago, that I recorded myself. What I did was, like all our smartphones now have a voice recorder.
Yeah.
I decided I'll record one whole round for myself. And then I heard that to myself, and then I realized that there were spots within where I was kind of jumping it. And that kind of gives you like an embarrassing feeling that, hey, I'm not able to do this. So I thought that was
very beneficial. Yes, you record your own chanting and see how horrible you are. So I mean, how things where you are best chanting. So you can definitely apply. So some things, little here and there, these techniques are very beneficial, definitely. So even Vaisheshika Prabhu mentioned this. Yes.
There are other religions also do chanting, right? Is there a difference in the way they chant and we chant and the purpose? And also the way we use the beads?
See, the thing is, every other religion, Prabhupada said the purpose is the same, to understand God, to love Him. But in Kali Yuga, we know very clearly, the only thing that works is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everything else will work, but it will take many lifetimes to really come to that point. We are very fortunate that we have the best possible names of God. It's all names of God. Ya ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that's what they chant. But then again, it's impersonal. Prabhupada said even if a Muslim chants purely and he does everything, even the maximum he will go to his heavenly planets. Right? So even Christians, Prabhupada said there is a special heavenly planet for Muslims and Christians. Right? Because at least they are doing something. But it is nothing compared to when Bhagavad Gita, one person asked Prabhupada, what about Quran and Bible and Gita? Prabhupada said, I am talking about sunlight, you are talking about dew. So, the Bhagavad Gita, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they are incomparable to whatever the other processes are. Even yoga. Very
you're talking about soul having dimension, size, and mana covering it. So when a human being dies, soul passes to other body. So is it like it floats or flies or something?
No, it's like this. See, the mind, when you die, it is explained in the Bhagavatam. There are 101 channels open up here. And according to your karma, you are put through one of the channels to be transferred to the next yoni. Like you're going to Walt Disney, They have all automatic, everything just opens underground, everything is automatically transported. So similarly, according to Karmana Deva Netrayana, they say the soul is the 101 channels open up. This is explained in Yoga Sutras also. And then it says the one channel opens up where you are destined to go. Then you are put through that. Then it takes you to, like Atmadutta Prabhu, one of Prabhupada's disciples, who was to Mantra Tantra before. He was in Manipal many years when we were students. So he came and he said, when we had rented one house, he said, don't rent this house. There is a channel, there is a gateway to hell in this. You cannot see, but these Yamadutas and everybody is coming out of that. They have daily quota, right? They come up with a list. Iskcon, come. So he said, then the channel is right here, don't go. So we don't see, but there are many channels where the souls are carried. So when they die, we don't see Yamadutas taking them and all that. So there are different channels, and the soul is, there is a super highway, and they are taken to different destinations. Because it's not just humans that are dying, right? So there is millions of bacteria, moths, butterfly, ants, they are all dying. The soul has to be transferred. So there is these channels which we cannot see. And of course in the human it's a very developed, the mind is very developed. So this, along with this entrapped mind and this subtle body which is called as chitta, mind, intelligence, ego, the trapped soul is transferred to the next and it fits in. And then the vayu, the gross body, the vayu and the gross body grows around it according to its karma. So it's very complex. It's there in the Bhagavad, all this. So all this is very detailed.
One thing actually explained nicely about how to chant. But thoughts, you said, try to hear. When we get thoughts, we don't know. Like suddenly, even we say like, somebody asked about when they are saying next, if you die, kind of, you might remember things. So similarly, while remembering props or while remembering Hare or while remembering Krishna, we remember, Gaurnatraj Prabhu told this class. Okay, I jump into the class and I forget that Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
No, it's a question of time. So if you apply the practice over a period of time, then in the beginning we are all taking baby steps. In the beginning it took me a long time to really think, here am I conscious, Hare Krishna, really fighting the mind, really. So that is your battle. But once, gradually it opens up, it's like then there is the morning, right? Beautiful sunlight will come. Once it smoothens out. But till your turbulence, is there. So you have to practice it. Practice makes a man perfect. That's it. You can talk about it. Like he says, Krishnamacharya, when he's talking about Ashtanga Yoga, he's a Sri Vaishnava also. He says, yoga is 1% talking, 99% practice. You have to just keep practicing. Somebody, I was listening to Japa seminar by Vaisheshik Prabhu. So one devotee said, Prabhuji, we chant 7-8 rounds, we try to chant and still we cannot focus. And he said, okay, then try chanting 64 rounds. It's not that, let me chant one round only with quality. No. The thing is that we have to understand, until and unless you take that seriousness as a yogi, there are 3 types of yogis according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Mrudu Madhya Adhimatra Atva Tatopi Visheshaha. He says, Mrudu, चल रहा है chanting, चलेगा, बाद में देख लेंगे, अभी बस आज के लिए हो गया. Madhyama, oh, this chanting, somehow I am getting there. Tivra, right here, right now. If I don't chant attentively today, I will carry this momentum tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I have gotten this mantra to the parampara. I am initiated. I have to chant this purely. This is the mandate. And if I don't put my 100% effort, I am cheating my parampara. Tivra, very serious. Why can't I tell the holy name, the pure name? Because I don't have that seriousness in desire. So you make that serious desire and pray to Krishna, just like that 5-year-old. Don't remember me, remember 5-year-old Dhruv. He went with that seriousness to the forest in the dark, and Krishna sent Narada Muni, go help him. Right? Krishna in the heart, he will inspire you. All you have to make is that desire, you should make it very strong. Right? That's it. Alright.
Quick couple technical questions. Some people say you should just sit and not walk around when you're chanting. Like it's very difficult for me to sit for 2 hours. And so on. And secondly, should your eyes be closed or open while you're chanting? Or should you be moving your body when you chant, or should you just sit?
From what I saw, from what my experience is, when you are sitting, sit steady. Sitting and lightly rocking is okay. One day one devotee was chanting, Hare, Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare. Prabhupada saw him and he said, please steady it, otherwise your brain will pop out, he said. Prabhupada said that. So, when you are sitting, sit steady. But if you are feeling very sleepy, if you cannot sit for a long time, see, what I saw, there is a big debate on this. Many people say, yes, ideally, yes, you should sit down, back straight, and you should hear. Prabhupada explains, 3rd canto, 20th chapter, I think the 2nd verse purport. He explains, sitting with legs, with the feet, soles of the feet in between your thighs, with back straight, is called as Swasti Samasina. This is Prabhupada's purport. It's not in the sloka. Prabhupada is explaining this asana, Swastikasana. And sitting with back straight with your head steady is very good to concentrate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should sit like this and hear the holy name. Prabhupada explains. So it's recommended, yes, to overcome restlessness, one should sit steady. But there are Maharajas, many Maharajas, they walk around and chant. It doesn't mean they are disturbed.
I've seen a video with Prabhupada walking and chanting.
Yeah, so the thing is, once you obtain, once you practice, once your mental practice is strong, you are able to hear attentively, very nicely. Then walking around also, your connection is there. That hearing that is happening. Your focus is there. I have seen it. So, it's a question of practice. So, once you have practiced enough, like what I do, basically, I try to finish at one shot in the temple. Like in our temple, Mangalarati starts at 5:45 we finish. I try to chant, I keep a time. Till 7 o'clock I try to sit down. Most of the rounds. Then, little bit, you want to walk around, little bit, But, by that time you have built up a momentum. Sitting and then developing a strong momentum. And little walking around also, it's okay. Prabhupada mentions that. But ideally, yes, one should sit, but it doesn't mean that you cannot walk around. No, I've seen that while walking also one can have the same momentum, concentration as well. It's a question of practice. Yes.
So Prabhuji, the meaning of this Hare Krishna mantra, every word is also being given as, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. And in one of the Japa retreats, it was also mentioned that when we chant, that should be a begging mood. So we are chanting, we are begging to Krishna to engage us. So that mood, what is your view on that? And second point was to the point of in connection to what Gaurnatraj was saying. That I have seen sometimes devotees very intensely chanting, and their body shakes. They are like very intensely engaged in chanting.
It's an exercise for a shake when you chant.
So it's not incorrect, right? Because it is one of their.
It's a vow.
See, the thing is, it's very difficult to judge, number one. Second is, he could be very disturbed. Hare Krishna. Most of them situation is like that. And if he is chanting purely, that will reflect in his behavior afterwards. If you are chanting really, then it will reflect in your behavior later, how enthusiastic you are. Right? Second thing is that mood. Okay, that one point I forgot. Thank you for reminding. Sachinandan Maharaj did a Japa seminar in New Vrindavan. One thing very nice he said. When you sit to chant, you should beg the acharyas for taste. You should pray, please give me that taste. So when you chant, you are very humble. You should, like you remember all the acharyas and you beg at their lotus feet. And you should actually beg Krishna to come and reside on your tongue. So the mood is very humble, Hare Krishna, but it's not that we are changes the tone. Change tone, everything is steady, but the mood is, I'm unqualified, oh Lord. Because the pure name is not there, I'm not saying Shyama Sundara. So one should feel oneself very unqualified, very insignificant, and pray humbly. It's only for Krishna Prema that we are chanting. That should be emphasized mentally.
I mean, I've seen like really elevated devotees. One time at New Vrindavan, I saw Varsana Maharaj, and he was in the corner. He was shaking, like he was. It wasn't like something like you see people imitate something that what he was doing was something out. It was mesmerizing. Like he was feeling it so much. He was trembling, and that's how the bhava. But some people try to imitate that, which is probably what you were trying to talk about when they were shaking like this. It's a completely different type of shaking they do.
Some people think if you do it that way, it will come.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's not as the physical thing.
Sometimes it just opposite naturally.
Yeah.
We are deeply engaged in chanting, so we don't know. The body just shakes.
See, the thing is, I see very few people really focusing. Very few people, they try everything else, but if you really focus, it will happen. I did a seminar in Pune once, yoga seminar. Then one senior devotee was telling me, Ramnath Prabhu was telling me, I am scared to invite all my students I am preaching to the temple in the morning for chanting, because most of them sleep. So it is very important that chanting should be very, very steady, very focused. Of course, now because of so many Japa seminars, many people are becoming aware, very focused of their chanting. But believe me, if you really focus this, all your perfection can be attained in this just one activity. And then you are reading, you attain the taste for reading also. You will see the swath, in the Bhagavatam, the CC, the connection of the heart. Yes, sir.
Is the source of all types of thoughts the same?
Yeah, it's the mind.
And
The action is taking place in the mind.
Then what influences that good and bad thoughts? What influences it?
Your memories. See, the thing is, what is thought? It is all your desires, experiences, past, present, future. That's it. All these are in the form of seeds, impressions. Like for example, Patanjali says in Yoga Sutra, Sukha Anushaya Agaha. Once you experience, you tasted cake, very nice. It's an impression on your mind. Next time you see a cake, you will wonder. Dukkha Anushayi Dvesha. Once you have experienced a painful experience, right? You went for a date and the girl slapped you. Next time you are thinking 1,000,000 times which dating site to go to, right? There is a painful experience. Now this will remain there. And as you base your activities based on these experiences, this will multiply, this will become a very strong impression. And it will not go until and unless you really chant and erase them.
So this starts at the early age of your life to bring.
From your past life also.
So it's
All your experiences are there in the subtle form. You don't see you are not able to connect the face or this or that, but that experience is there. That desire is there. Those impressions are there from all your previous lives.
So there is no role of soul at all.
The soul right now, the soul always remains untouched by this. But the soul is not completely inactive. It is only supplying consciousness. But him who he is, he has misidentified. He is in illusion because of false ego. The more you chant, the more your mind becomes clear, the more you are able to perceive. Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shauchati na kanshati. Once you realize, by the dint of your practice and by the mercy of the Lord, na shauchati na kanshati, you come out of this mind, the entrapment of the mind. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu, you see everybody equally as Atma. Mad bhakti ulavate param. At time you attain pure bhakti. You are able to see everybody is Atma, everybody belongs to Krishna. So you attain that pure love. You come to that real state of consciousness.
Just a couple points to mention. my very close relative, like he also does some chanting, and but not from this Iskcon, but from some other persons. And what he was sharing his realization regarding the point Sri Prabhu was mentioning about shaking. In their process, they asked them to sit in a particular way and asked them to be steady. So what he shared with me is when he used to be chanting, he had one or two experiences wherein he literally forgot that he has any body. He was only able to he only had the consciousness of his tongue and his ears, because he was just able to chant and just able to listen. I mean, when he completed the chanting, he realized that there were lumps in his body, and he literally forgot his body. So that was one thing. I mean, and the other thing I wanted to mention is like being physically fit helps in better concentration. I mean, the day you go to gym or you know that you are physically fit, that time you'll be able to do much better concentration regardless of and if you're not fit, then probably you'll not be able to do as much, because while sitting down you'll have some pain over here, some pain over there, and then you'll not be able to do the chanting like
Yes, physical. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says health, sadhana, and service. Three things. And regarding the first point, that in the beginning, of course, before I studied post-graduation yoga, those things are very nice. Yes, you forget the body, this and that. It's nice. But in our process, that's not what we want to experience. We want to experience Krishna. We want to experience Krishna, the taste of the holy name, and experience Krishna in everybody. That Paramatma. We are able to really mellow down. We should be able to, when we read Bhagavatam, tears should float in our eyes. That feelings for Krishna should come. I'll tell you, frankly, one day, me and another devotee in our temple, we started reading Bhagavatam. I'm sure many of you would have had this also, but just sharing. We read Bhagavatam like continuous 6-7 hours that day. First canto, where Pandavas are sharing their separation from Krishna. And then you went to the temple hall and you see Krishna, you are thinking, oh, this is the same Krishna that was with the Pandavas. Your consciousness becomes so nice, you are seeing this Krishna, the deity, is same as that Krishna was with the Pandavas. You don't see as different. So we want to come to that level of consciousness when we are seeing Krishna in terms of all his devotees as per, acharyas, and we are able to relate to him in that way. That is the real, the goal of our chanting is to come to be conscious of Krishna and relate to Krishna. That is it. Thank you.
When the Buddhists do this meditation, they forget.
They are able to, I saw
the impersonal form of.
I saw in other day in National Geographic or Discovery, they showed one Buddhist monk actually levitating.
Right.
He actually, in front of camera, he levitated. But that's it, we are in the air, that's all.
No, I mean, the point I was trying to make was that what we say is that, I'm not promoting Mayavad or something.
Yeah.
The only point I was trying to make is that we say that while chanting, we should not have any other consciousness.
Yeah,
I mean,
at least he got what he is looking for.
Yeah, basically.
Because of his concentration. That is the good thing we can learn from that.
Yeah. So basically even when we are chanting, at that time, if we are not able to feel our body, that means one thing is for sure that we do not have any other thoughts while chanting.
Yes, that is also there, that you are focused. So the one point what you said is perfect, that good health, being steady, being focused, if you do good exercise and it's also very important, because if you are able to sit, not able to sit for even 1 minute properly, then you cannot chant also. Yeah. That's why I did many yoga classes for many devotees in many different temples also, just to be able to sit down and chant. Alright, yes, so I know it's pretty late, so I thank you all for your kind attention, and I hope this attention remains every day. And you can know the easiest way is, I do all these seminars, these are all I try to put it on Facebook also. So you can add me on Facebook or you can take my phone number or details if anybody is interested, so you can keep in touch. We would like to see, by preaching we grow, everybody grows, right? And I would like to also invite everybody to New Vrindavan. We have a children's camp, July 22nd, 23rd, 24th, for children of all ages. So you are invited. This is one of the first time we are attempting camp on a large scale. And we have Rath Yatra, we have the children's Rath. Of course, New Vrindavan has cows. So we will the children will milk the cows, will pull the tail, will do go puja, gardening. We have a host of activities. There will also be Pushya Abhishek. Children will do Pushya Abhishek. Then the children will also do Abhishek, Aarti. We are planning to have like swing festival, swan boat festival. So children will sit on the swan boat with the Lord. So it's July 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So I'd like to invite. You can come and children, of course, will have kirtans, this and that. We need as many devotees to come. Me and my wife especially are organizing this. So, and of course we are having more New Vrindavan, many mothers. We have 7 or 8 Matajis from the New Vrindavan community. They are also participating as teachers and everything. So anybody, and we invite all parents, everybody, and also anybody who would like to take up some, teaching something for the children or volunteering, we'll be very happy to, help out in that way. Alright? So tomorrow we have the Ramayana. Is it on? Yeah, okay. Tomorrow, yeah, okay. So if you are not bored yet, so tomorrow you can still get bored. 7 to 9 we'll be having Sundara Kanda. Actually I was doing this Ramayana series leading up to Ram Navami in our temple. Every week I was doing one Kanda. So Bala Kanda is over and I did the first 4 till Kishkinda Kanda. So Sundar,
We get the best Kanda.
yeah, Sundar, So Sundarakanda is where the Lord, along with all the Vanar Sena, is searching out for Sita. It's very deep, very beautiful. It will take at least 2 hours for each Kanda. The smallest one was Kishkinda, which I did last week. But Sundarakanda is long. The Yuddha Kanda is the longest, as far as I have seen. That will take at least 2.5 to 3 hours. But Sundarakanda, but I finish it in one go, try to finish all the events. So that will be tomorrow.
So that's the one when Hanuman finds Sita, right? In Sundar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's very sweet.
yeah, this is gonna be
How
good.
many finds out Sita.
It'll be good tomorrow.
All those feelings. So when we discuss all those feelings, everything in great detail. Alright? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare